In the early 16th century, the Indian subcontinent stood at a historical crossroads. The Delhi Sultanate was crumbling under weak rulers and endless infighting, while powerful regional forces clawed for control. But from the harsh steppes of Central Asia came a new force, one that would change the destiny of India forever. His name was Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur. A descendant of both Timur and Genghis Khan, he was an exiled king turned warlord, determined to carve out a new empire. And in April of 1526, he faced the mighty army of Ibrahim Lodi, the last sultan of Delhi, in a confrontation that would be recorded in blood. The First Battle of Panipat. It wasn't just a clash of two armies, it was a war between two eras. On one side, Babur brought something India had never seen before: modern warfare. His use of field artillery, matchlock rifles, and strategic field formations stunned Indian warlords. Babur introduced the Ottoman-style Tulugma formation, dividing his army into center, wings, and flanks, then encircling the enemy like a tightening noose. With just 12,000 troops, he faced down over 100,000 men in Lodi's army. The morning of April 21, 1526, was thick with tension. Babur's troops dug trenches and placed carts as barricades, chaining them together to form a deadly wall. Hidden between them were cannons, primed to unleash devastation. When Ibrahim Lodi's forces charged, their sheer numbers clogged the battlefield. That's when Babur unleashed his artillery. The explosions were deafening. For many of Lodi's soldiers, it was the first time they'd heard the thunder of gunpowder. Chaos followed. The elephants in Lodi's army panicked and trampled their own men. Babur's cavalry swept in from the flanks, cutting down the confused infantry. By evening, 20,000 men lay dead, including Ibrahim Lodi himself, his head separated from his body and displayed on a pike. The Battle of Panipat wasn't just a victory, it was a signal. The age of medieval warfare was over. The Mughals had arrived, and they would rule India for the next 300 years. But what history often forgets is the sheer brutality of that day. Babur's memoirs, the Baburnama, record the slaughter without remorse. After the battle, he ordered the construction of a victory tower made of skulls, a grim tradition borrowed from his Timurid ancestors. Thousands of captives were executed. The Yamuna River reportedly ran red for days. Babur was also a skilled tactician in psychological warfare. He invoked religious symbolism to rally his men. Before the battle, he broke his wine vessels and swore off alcohol, presenting himself as a pious warrior of Islam. He framed the invasion as a jihad against the heretical practices of the Lodi regime, thereby securing support from orthodox factions and lending a divine aura to his campaign. On the other hand, Ibrahim Lodi's downfall was partly of his own making. His court was rife with discontent. Afghan nobles, disillusioned by his harsh treatment, betrayed him in the final hours. Some refused to fully engage in battle. Even his own brother Jalal Khan had rebelled earlier and fled the capital. Lodi's downfall was as much an internal collapse as it was a defeat by Babur. The scale of the battle was unprecedented for its time in India. Babur's forces were vastly outnumbered, yet his strategy, mobility, and gunpowder technology gave him the upper hand. According to historians, Lodi had over 100 war elephants and thousands of cavalry, while Babur's artillery devastated their tightly packed formations before they could even reach the Mughal lines. In the aftermath, Delhi lay open. Babur entered the city and declared himself Padshah of Hindustan. But the seat of power, he claimed, was far from secure. Resistance continued across northern India. Afghan forces regrouped, and Rajput kings like Rana Sanga of Mewar prepared to challenge the invader. Babur's work had only just begun. And yet Panipat was the pivotal moment. It was a technological revolution, a political coup, and a blood-soaked genesis. From the plains of Panipat, the Mughal Empire would rise, stretching across the subcontinent and producing emperors like Humayun, Akbar, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. Subscribe now for more raw, real, and bloody stories of empire, ambition, and betrayal. because history isn't just dates and names, it's thunder, fire, and the cries of those who dared to fight it.